Hello and welcome to Institute for Governance, Policies and Politics online panel discussion on Tamil Nadu, nationalism versus subnationalism. This discussion is part of our larger initiative, Politics in the South of Vindhyas, where we attempt to understand electoral dynamics in the southern states. Earlier editions of the event have focused on Karnataka and Telangana legislative assembly elections. I'm Heena Goswami, and joining us today are T. Ramakrishnan, Senior Associate Editor, The Hindu, and Dr. Sajjan Kumar, Fellow, Prime Minister's Museum and Library. Welcome you all to this panel discussion. The BJP in Tamil Nadu has had a trajectory unlike any other state. The political landscape of the state has been dominated by two parties, DMK and AIDMK, who have swept places in the assembly since 1967. The BJP had at one point or another formed alliance with both parties, but also has seen the rug pulled under its feet by the so-called allies. Its vote share in assembly elections has been limited to less than 3%, and even in 2019 general elections, its alliance with AIDMK managed to win only 1 out of 39 seats. However, BJP is eyeing to change all that as the party is pinning its hope on the young state president K Annamalai, and the Prime Minister himself has upped the stake by visiting the state 7 times since February. To begin on a rather simplistic note, what are the issues that are on voters' mind as they go to polling this election? Are the national issues such as the construction of the Ram Mandir, new parliament building, Article 370, CAA, ED raids against opposition leaders, or are there more regional issues?
Just because people of Tamil Nadu attach importance to certain issues, I don't think they can be called subnational issues or regional issues. Okay, for example, there has been talk about devolution of funds. So this affects many states. Doesn't affect one state. Tamil Nadu politicians or the ruling dispensation of Tamil Nadu, rightly or wrongly, may have taken one position. Okay, but that doesn't mean that regardless of the correctness or otherwise of their position, they're highlighting a particular matter need not be and should not be viewed as a feature of subnationalism. So with this limited, with this preliminary observation, I would answer your question. I think the last 3 weeks of political discourse, we had discussions. Of course, the issues that have dominated the political discourse are, one thing is CAA, Citizenship Amendment Act. There is a particular reference to in a particular. I don't know whether it's a particular, but anyway, there is some interest to Tamil Nadu because in the CAA of 2019, refugees from Sri Lanka have been excluded from the ambit of the law. Okay, so this has been highlighted for the last several years, and this time also this issue has been scrapped up, and people have, I think DMK, ADMK, they have mentioned in their manifestos that they will try to include the refugees from Sri Lanka. I am saying refugees from Sri Lanka. I am not calling them Sri Lankan refugees. Okay, there is a difference. Okay, because there are some people who are stateless. So I would just say refugees from Sri Lanka. They have come from Sri Lanka. That's number one. And then, of course, I think DMK and ADMK, both they have said with regard to CAA, about that Muslims also should be included in the ambit of the law. So this is CAA is one of the issues that have dominated, and the devolution of funds. And there is a general feeling that, or at least feeling in certain quarters, perception in certain quarters, that that narrative has been set by naturally by anti-DMK forces, especially anti-BJP forces, especially DMK, saying that in the event of BJP's return to power or BJP retaining power, the constitution will be scrapped, and then the constitutional rights that you have will be. So these are the larger issues. So so that was also discussed, and then these states are being discriminated against. So the devolution and then federalism. These are all the issues that have been highlighted by, of course, both by DMK as well as even by ADMK. Okay, so the Tamil Nadu is not getting back its full share of funds. So that's another, it's right or wrong. I'm not saying that they are saying correct, but the point is that the devolution of funds, the formula is not favorable to Tamil Nadu. So these are all the issues that have dominated the discourse in the last 3 weeks. And I think they are all of interest and importance at the all India level too.
Taking this further, yes, the issues of particularly federalism are national ones as well, but they have been particularly like magnified in the case of Tamil Nadu because of the confrontation between the governor and the government led by DMK, right? And there's the prospect of delimitation commission where possibly after the census there may be a change in the number of representatives that the state sent to the parliament. Are these issues like gaining the sympathy of voters in favor of the ruling party?
Yes. It's also, this is one of the issues being debated for the last, I think, almost 6-7 months, or even in the last three weeks. This is one of the issues highlighted very much. Okay, and there, I think it is my feeling is BJP. I don't know why they have not allayed apprehensions on this matter, because this matter is being highlighted or raised by non-BJP parties, particularly anti-BJP parties. Okay, so the BJP must assure, saying that, okay, no problem in delimitation, Tamil Nadu, or for that matter, any state will not be dealt with in an unfair manner and all that. So you will not find any disproportionate reduction in the number of seats or whatever it is, some sort of assurance. Somehow that kind of language is missing from BJP, and that is again aggravating that is only adding, lending strength to the argument of these people who rise about that once delimitation comes, and then the Tamil Nadu, the southern states will be rendered irrelevant, redundant. Okay, and then BJP will win most of the seats in northern states. So they won't require South India. And then like that, see, this kind of talk is being indulged by certain parties, okay, in Tamil Nadu. But the BJP must tell them, no, Hare Baba, don't have this kind of notion. Okay, we won't be unfair or we won't be partial. Okay, then so like that, you see, that kind of assurance is missing. And given the what shall I say, the history or track record of whatever secessionist tendencies that Tamil Nadu had seen in the past, I think the party at the center should be much more careful, much more responsive, while some people raise these issues, and unnecessarily you allow people to entertain certain notions that may not be the case, but you should not be, the party at the center should not be the cause for creating unnecessary apprehensions, okay, unnecessary concerns among people on such matters. I'm talking about delimitation, devolution of funds. You should be much more forthright. In what Nirmala Sitharaman says, we are giving this much, that much, all right. But their response has not been as effective as I would like it like I like them to be.
Dr. Sajjan, we have also seen aggressive posturing by DMK against the dominant Hindutva discourse.
Mhm.
Uh, the chief minister's son also went out and made some remarks against the Sanatan Dharma. Has that resonated with the voters on ground? And Tamil Nadu, also keeping in mind that Tamil Nadu has a strong tradition of anti-Brahminical movements.
You see, Tamil Nadu is a land of, I should say, Hinduism. Okay, you can see thousands of temples, and then even according to ASI, there are 39,000 temples, which are at least 100 years old. Okay, and then the last month, what we say in Tamil, Panguni, you may say Falguni. Almost every temple in Tamil Nadu had a temple festival, and thousands of people turned up. Thousands. I don't know how it is. It's a maddening crowd, I should say. So such a religious fervor, you can see this is very incredible. And for sometimes I fail to understand what draws them to the temples. Anyway, that is their matter of belief, and then so the point is this: I think BJP feels that Tamil Nadu is a fertile ground for its growth, given the cultural, religious, fervor. But the point is somehow from the beginning, okay, um, the people have been making a distinction between their political choices and then personal preferences. So this has been the one of the features of people or voters of Tamil Nadu, and I think the BJP has not been able to grasp this point, perhaps correctly. So they are raking up several issues, but they don't find anyway this Sanatan Dharma and all that people, because it's all right for DMK and all that, because people don't support DMK because of its stand on theism or atheism. Okay, because it has got extensive network, and then the cadres they take part in every function, that is function of every family in their constituency. Okay, the people's connect is so strong, either it is DMK or ADMK. That is why they have been able to sustain. Okay, so that is the another point is that the people of Tamil Nadu, I would say, they are very pragmatic. Okay, so they are not. I don't think this ideological that blah blah that doesn't impress them at all. Okay, the politicians may talk all those things, but people are very down to earth, pragmatic. So the point is this: if you have a vibrant infrastructure, then only you can succeed. So if your party network in non-election days is dull and dead, you can't expect it to get to revive in no time. And that too, Tamil Nadu, it's a 6.2 crore. So there is nearly 70% people turn up at the polling booths. So that's it's very, very difficult. So my point is this, that all these slogans, talk, and all that, okay, fine. That is, they all hit the headlines at the all India level, but people don't decide to vote for or against DMK or against any particular party because of the stand on religion or this Ram temple or these. That is for them, the economic issues matter more. Okay, unemployment, inflation, infrastructure, physical infrastructure, I mean. So these are the issues that matter more to them than this Sanatan Dharma and then Hindutva. All that, that is fine. That is all right. We can discuss, debate for hours together. But Aam Aadmi is not bothered about all these matters. For him, I must get the
Dr. Sajjan.
Yeah. So let me respond to the same question, and adding on to that, Mr. T. Ramakrishnan input. We need to understand the discourse, political and cultural discourse of Tamil Nadu from two perspectives. One is the political elite and the civil society elite who hold on to and certainly emphasize certain cultural specificity, and the state masses view. And as T. Ramakrishnan rightly pointed out, that the political elite may take a view on Sanatana, maybe derogatory, which may be quite provocative, also insulting, but that doesn't translate into Tamil masses also sharing the same view. In fact, Tamil Nadu is deeply religious state, and that data and all sort of practices are there. But there is one twist that DMK did, and which certainly kind of got a response from the BJP. The twist was when the derogatory remarks against Sanatan was used. That was an attempt to portray the Hindutva as Brahmanical Hindutva, right? Because in Tamil Nadu popular psyche, when you attack Sanatan, many a times the underlying coded message is that it's Hinduism is about Brahmanical Hinduism. Now that's a view which has a deep root in Tamil Nadu. Entire Dravidian movement and the specificity, cultural tangibility, and the emergence of the Dravidian party, both DMK and AIADMK, have been perpetuating this view. And therefore, the attack on Sanatan initially was pointed out. It was intended to attack, create an impression that the Hindutva and Hinduism, and therefore the BJP's kind of foray into Tamil Nadu and South, is primarily about bringing the memory back of the dominance of the Brahmanism. That was the political intention. Now, empirically, that's not true. We know that today's Hindutva and Hinduism primarily is dominated by the both subaltern leaders and subaltern masses also. And that's true about across India, across geography. In Ayodhya on 22nd January, when the Pran Pratishtha happened, before that and after that also, you see the profile of the devotees. Many of them are women who are coming from the low income groups, from southern states, from the western states. So that way you see that kind of a binary Sanatan versus non-Sanatan, Brahmin versus subaltern, that doesn't hold true. This is one. Two, there is also a shift, and therein I like to slightly disagree with the T. Ramakrishnan ji, that yes, there are other issues like material issues which matters more, and these are primarily Sanatan and non-Sanatan is the foray of the political elite to kind of a red herring strategy to divert the attention and heat up the discourse and win the narrative. But there's kind of a generational shift, and that generational shift is deeply embedded into aspirational politics of economic issues, but they are also deeply embedded into, in fact, they are more assertive about the cultural identity also. And that is also true about a section of the youth, which may not be substantial in terms of, which may not translate into the electoral arithmetic, because elections, who to vote, who not to vote, are decided on multiple factors, not just one factor. Election is never a single issue discourse. It's always decided by voters by taking into consideration many factors. But certainly on that Sanatan, anti-Sanatan remark, even a significant section, and that was obvious on the digital platforms and social medias, significant section of the Tamil youth also took exception. And we saw in a tangible way that that remark was countered, as was expected, to create a South versus North of Vindhya, or South versus north, many of the Tamil youths were very aggressively, and they were not affiliated with BJP. You can make out that from the profile and everything. They were also countering. So this shows that while the traditional party DMK still has its hegemonic presence, as was pointed out, because of the institutional and organizational and leadership presence down to micro level, but in terms of the narratives, in terms of the shared consensus of Tamil Nadu that has been there since 1967 and which was reflected in the binary of the parties DMK and AIADMK since 1970s. Now you find some sort of at least cultural churning is happening, and that cultural churning is to kind of present Tamil Nadu as a kind of exceptional, I mean, Tamil exceptionalism as a narrative that has been the dominant presumption in academia, media, and also in political discourses. That exceptionalism, that kind of a fault line, and that consensus, in fact, is breaking. And to that extent, mind it, it's not just Prime Minister's spree in Tamil Nadu in the last 1 month. It's also about before the Pran Pratishtha in Ayodhya. You see a pattern of Prime Minister Modi visiting the South Indian temples, particularly in Tamil Nadu and Kerala. So there was also a conscious attempt by the BJP, to counter that regional specificity, exceptionalism being incommensurable. Yes, all states, all regions have regional specificity, but BJP foray into Tamil Nadu is an attempt to send a message that culturally there is a larger bond, there is a larger resonance, and at least a section of new generation from Tamil generation, and that's not just the Brahmins. You find that also many non-Brahmin communities it is happening. This is one. Two, if you see the remark of Sanatan and anti-Sanatan, we should also remember that today it is after that when Stalin's son, same son, gave the statement, it was also seconded by Kartik Chidambaram, Chidambaram's son. It was also seconded Mallikarjun Kharge's son, Priyank Kharge. So that way, this created kind, may not be for DMK, it may not matter, but for Congress, it became a national baggage, because unlike DMK, Congress has to hold onto its stakes across India, that how come the Congress president and senior leader Chidambaram, their kind of proteges are also coming in defense of something which did not go down well with the other parts. So this is one. Third thing, also we have to remember that right now BJP's strategy is clear. This election, we all know BJP in terms of the electoral tally may not matter much for, but certainly if this guy at this popularity, when the Prime Minister is one of the most popular personality and BJP has the best of the best logistics and the presence, if with this kind of a popularity, they will not foray into the states wherein they have been historically or in the past very weak, they may not get another chance.
Sajjan, I have one question. You were saying about the sections of the youth, how they responded on social media. So what was did they support Udayanidhi Stalin's observations on Sanatan Dharma, or were they critical? I didn't
no,
get
I'm talking to the youths, Tamil youths who were critical on the social media.
They were critical.
Critical. So that's why I'm saying that it's a churning. And now let's compare the case of Tamil Nadu with another state wherein BJP's presence was extremely weak. And I'm taking the case of Tripura. In 2013, BJP got 1.5% vote share. Just 1.5%. Even in 2013 assembly election, 2014 Lok Sabha election, it was a non-entity. What I'm trying to say that one has to take the reference point of BJP in some sort of their background. Tamil Nadu is not a state, I think, which many BJP insiders are expecting, despite all the claims, to win significant number of the seats. It's just a state wherein the party needs to mark its presence that they are also a player, may not be the dominant player as of now. Mind it, there is one window of opportunity that is giving space to BJP, and that is the death of Jayalalitha, and therefore the prime anchor of AIADMK is in chaos. She is not there, and unlike DMK, the succession issues went tipsy and turvy. So that is one thing. So that is why the case of BJP at this point of time is just to entrench themselves. And mind it, many a times the generational shift may not be captured. Their intensity and impact in the future may not be captured by most of us for the simple reason that we try to analyze the political discourse and outcomes by looking at the background variables. The variables and the concepts and the inputs that has been the kind of resources which informs our analysis. So I think Annamalai is one interesting case, not because he is going to get many seats for the BJP, but because a state like Tamil Nadu, which is so deeply embedded culturally, has a regional kind of assertion, and yet BJP, not because of Prime Minister, but because of its state president, is capturing the headlines not nationally, but also in Tamil. And that is why when we talk, we certainly see that whether the churn that is there is statistically significant or not. Now, among the youth, certainly, who may not be electorally significant, we are finding because they have the power to set narrative. And therefore, it was for the first, mind it, Ramakrishnan sir would be aware about many such statesmen by K Karunanidhi against Sanatan, against all sort of a thing. But that didn't become controversy. But Stalin, Udayanidhi Stalin is giving a statement. Suddenly it created a kind of a response which for the first time became a discourse wherein even DMK has to come up with a supplementary explanation. And Congress also have to come in defense, have to show their religiosity and everything. So that itself is a marker of shift from the near consensus of the intra-Dravidian party that used to have between DMK and AIDMK. And that is why I'll say that BJP foray into Tamil Nadu is also about a kind of a generational shift, wherein, yes, regional specificity, cultural specificity, a kind of narrative hegemony is there, but we do not see that it's getting completely destroyed, but some cracks are visible. Whether those cracks will widen in future or not will depend upon many organizational and leadership factor. But I'll give the credit to BJP leader Annamalai, at least to creating a sort of a discourse in Tamil Nadu, wherein for the first time a Tamil leader is openly talking against the Dravidian narrative, be it about anti-Brahmanism, be it about the kind of always taking a position wherein the Tamil religiosity is always covered up into the anti-Sanatan kind of a rhetoric. You will never see most of the Dravidian leaders, they also visit temples, are deeply religious, but in their public posturing, they will pretend as if they are more about rationalism, atheism, and as if Hinduism is all about Brahmanism. So that sort of a hold of the Dravidian elites over the masses, that used to be the case in Tamil Nadu, you start witnessing a crack. And if that crack is the starting point, whatever be the electoral, because many a times Congress decline started in 1967 at national level, but it took 10 years for JP movement to have a significant, and another 10, 12 years by 1989 to see. So that crack, I think, should be taken more seriously. And I think that if we see the Tamil youths, a new generation, I think within Tamil Nadu also we have started finding the contradictions wherein the narrative versus narratives are emerging from within the state rather than Tamil Nadu versus rest of the India or south versus north of the India. Yes, there are issues like delimitation and others, which when comes will have its own weight in terms of creating a different sorts of mobilization. But as of now, I think BJP Foro is having a cultural success. Electorally, I do not think that BJP also is expecting much outcome, but certainly vote percentage wise in something, the party will have a decent performance. Yeah.
Let me respond to a couple of observations of Sajjan. of course, what you are saying about this Dravidian leaders, public posturing and all that. But that was the case still about till 1980s. Okay, this Udayanidhi Stalin's observation, or that is from 1990s onwards, that is after Jayalalitha became the Jayalalitha thing. MGR died in 87 and Jayalalitha became Chief General Secretary from 88. And Jayalalitha was a Brahmin. Okay, from 90s onwards, even DMK leaders were publicly seen visiting temples. Okay, they didn't try to hide their, what shall I say, their faith or whatever it is. So whatever you are saying, so this Udayanidhi Stalin or Stalin's defense or all that, that was more of what shall I say? There is Udayanidhi Stalin made a statement, so he just tried to defend it. But the point is that the DMK leaders are all they won't publicly do, that is, their public posturing won't be in favor, or it won't be seen favorable to Hindu followers or the people of Hindus. It's not so. So they go to temples, and in fact, Sai Baba visited Puttaparthi Sai Baba. He visited Karunanidhi's house, and then Stalin's wife goes to every temple in Tamil Nadu, and Stalin himself says that we are a party of Hindus. He had given an interview to the Hindu. So to the Hindu, I mean to my paper. 10 years ago, I'm saying 2015. So there is a shift with regard to the DMK's position vis-a-vis Hinduism. Okay, so that is there. So, but this issue, fine, okay, it is somehow, what shall I say, got one thing is got blown out of proportion. Number one. Number two, it developed in such a manner that as if DMK was great. What shall I say? That is, they had great convictions about abolition of Sanatan Dharma or something like that, Varnashrama. So I think somehow that it got. Of course, they also started enjoying it in a way for political. That is number one. And number two, and then the churning about that you are saying, in fact, but in 2007. Sedu Samudram project, it's a shipping project, and then that was abandoned. Okay, that was abandoned by UPA government. And then at that time, Karunanidhi made several objectionable statements, which were objected by. One of the statements was that did Rama study engineering? Was he not a drunkard? All that kind of stuff. Then there was a strong reaction. Okay, so it's not that people kept quiet. Okay, so at that time the kind of social media, anyway, at that time electronic media was still present, and then several Congress leaders privately and publicly they disapproved Karunanidhi's language. Okay. So it's not that, and then of course this Rameshwaram, as far as I am concerned, Ramayana is a great literary work. Okay, so if you go by that according to the legend has it that Rama worshipped in Rameshwaram, and then even that Kodandarama temple where Modi went. You see there I think he did some penance for. Killing a Brahmin, something like that. That's the level. So that's Rameswaram is full of very interesting, engrossing tales. Okay, it's a very special place for Hindus. So that's why I think he chose Rameswaram. But they have chosen not to contest in Ramnad. The BJP in 2019 they contested only in 5 seats. One of them was Ramnad. In 2014, they contested 6 or 7 seats as part of the third front, that is non-DMK, non-ADMK. Even then also the Ramnath was there. But this time, for some reasons, of course, they say to accommodate Mr. Pannirselvam, they have chosen to leave out. But the point is that it is not such a constituency that you can choose to leave out. See, having invested so much with regard to Rameswaram, with Rama and all that. But anyway, that's why I'm saying the people in Tamil Nadu are practical. Okay, having you make some slogans, keep on making certain slogans for years, but at a very crucial juncture, you just I don't know, fritter away or squander. That is, they don't mind. That is so. So I was really surprised. How there is anyway. My limited point is that I don't know whether the churning is happening, but churning must happen because the society, any society, is a dynamic one. Okay, so it should happen. But the point is that with regard to BJP, at least for last nearly 20 years, we have been hearing that the BJP is going to make dent, BJP is going to make inroads and all that. Of course, they didn't have one thing to be fair to Mr. Annamalai is, the kind of traction that he has been able to manage was not there earlier. But the point is, in 2014, without any such leader, non-DMK, non-ADMK formation was able to get 18% of votes, 75 lakh votes, 7.5 million, with 2 parliamentary seats. So, which was something historic. It was something historic, okay? And I think 1952, after 52, I think without, or even what I would say that, anyway, 67, if you take 67, say from 67 till now, that was the only occasion wherein a non-DMK, non-ADMK formation was able to get a couple of seats. Whether this time they are going to get or not remains to be seen. But we have been hearing for long that BJP's days are. In fact, in 2021, I went around southern parts, particularly Ramnath, Virudhunagar, all that areas I went around. There is particularly Ramnath, you have Muslims population. It's about 15%. So that's a very significant number. But anyhow, that BJP couldn't come. That is, the BJP didn't succeed. I think they contested one of the seats in Ramnath district. So they were not able to. At that time, they were talk. In fact, I came across a communist leader in Virudhunagar. He was saying that the BJP is growing, and so I am reminded of, when I hear you, I reminded of the conversation I had with him 3.5 years ago. It was, but still nothing happened. So perhaps at the polling booth, I don't know, something happens to an average Tamil voter. Well, I don't know what happens to him, but something. So anyway, let us see how this June 4th will answer all these questions. We have been hearing for long that the BJP is going to come with a big bang and all that, but only thing we are waiting for that big bang.
So I'm sure Dr. Sajjan would have some response, but as a moderator, I'll just take a call to move forward to the next part of our discussion and to discuss the strategy that BJP is employing. I'll just, because I think we are running short on time, so I'll combine the questions that I have for both of you. And Ramakrishnan sir, I want to ask you that this election is said to be a triangular contest.
Okay.
So not allying with AIDMK, is it going to hurt BJP's chances this time, or is it going to provide it an avenue to come of its own in Tamil Nadu? Dr. Sajjan, to you, I would like to ask that, is the BJP's strategy only to make a foray in Tamil Nadu, or is there a larger strategy to also ensure that it adds some seats to its kitty from the state? And Please feel free to add to both the questions and reply.
Anyway, that's the three-cornered contest is going to benefit the ruling dispensation. That is very obvious. That's what it looks like. Okay. And a couple of reasons. One is that's, of course, divided opposition. Another is that the ruling dispensation has been implementing certain welfare measures whose efficacy is being seen or experienced by people. Okay, there is a sort of scheme, universal basic income, 1,000 rupees to women, and then you have breakfast scheme in government schools, and then so free bus travel for women. So all these are all measures that are now being implemented, and their benefits are being reaped by or experienced by people. So certainly that will benefit a ruling party in this election. Okay, so may not be, because people may not know, they say thanks only once. That's the practice in Tamil Nadu. Okay, so this time they may. So that is divided opposition plus that will benefit. But as far as whether it will benefit BJP, actually BJP will be spoiling the chances of ADMK in more number of constituencies than the other way around. Of course, the BJP wants to show that it is a force to reckon with, and so the Annamalai has been given the kind of freedom. Okay, I don't think any other president would have been given. So he has been here at least for nearly 3 years as president. So the point is that I think a three-cornered contest. Of course, there is one more player that what we say that NTK, Nam Tamilar Kachi, which is V Tamil Kachi. Okay, but that player is also there, is growing gradually. Okay, but anyway, the three-cornered contest is I think a very conscious outcome of decisions of both the BJP as well as ADMK, because Annamalai, from the day number one, he wanted his party to go it alone. Okay, and ADMK was waiting for an opportunity to break the alliance. So both converged, and so that's how you are having the three-cornered contest. And then I think anyway, that is if BJP as a coalition, as the BJP individually and collectively, my reading is they may get about 15%. If that they get that 15%, itself is a big achievement. But the point is whether they will be able to sustain. Because in 2014 also, as a coalition, they got 18%, 75 lakhs, but they just squandered it. So whether the BJP is going to hold on to that, if at all they perform that well, okay, assuming that they are going to perform very well. And then the point is that the post-election, whether the BJP leadership is going to permit a state unit to function itself in the way it has been doing.
Yeah, I agree with most of Ramakrishnan's point. Just adding to that, I think that BJP is patient in Tamil Nadu. I mean, despite Annamalai's very aggressive blitzkrieg campaign and everything, because the decision to go alone, mind it, people knew the consequences, that with alliance, certainly the NDA chances and also BJP chances would have been slightly better than what it is now. This is one. So certainly, organizationally, the way he got a free hand is something that, as of now, the present BJP leadership is quite patient in the case of Tamil Nadu. And therefore, despite all the rhetoric and polemics, I think Tamil Nadu is just optics to create an impression that the discourse of BJP is strong, not only in the states wherein it is a serious player, but also it has forayed into arenas wherein it was not a serious. So this is one. Two, there is one difference with Annamalai and the performance of BJP in the past. In the past also, BJP won seats here and there and had a kind of a decent vote percentage. But none of the leadership before Annamalai were there to stay who had a kind of a personal traction. Right now, more than BJP, it is Annamalai. Now, much depends upon the kind of chemistry that national leadership and Annamalai will have. Mind it, in Telangana State Assembly election, and this was a credible input from the ground and from the people who understand the state, had BJP leadership not replaced Bandi Sanjay couple of months before the election, BJP's performance would have been much better. By removing him and replacing him with G. Kishan Reddy, a leader who didn't have that kind of attraction, Congress became the default fulcrum of anti-BRS votes. So similarly, in Tamil Nadu, much will depend how much support Annamalai is going to get from the central leadership. But whatever the indication, in the present dispensation, there is a strong indication that the Annamalai and the national leadership are in tandem, are in harmony. And therefore, with establishing a leadership or a face who has some sort of attraction and popularity and ability to, mark a very strong media and narrative presence, much will depend upon, as having said that there are many a times by sentiment, it seems BJP is there. People feel it is growing. But when what happens on the polling booth, no one knows why it doesn't convert into. That's precisely because in a state like Tamil Nadu, you also have to factor in the complex matrix of caste and communities into the sub-localities, sub-regional basis. Every caste and community have certain competing elites, political elites, who are divided into two different parties, AIADMK and DMK, and also so many other parties. Now, creating a narrative for the BJP through a credible leadership, credible face is one thing. To fill the structure with a complex caste and community arithmetic, to win over from each caste and community credible faces, and filling it with the larger narrative of the BJP is a uphill task. And therefore, BJP's foray into Tamil Nadu and its translation into a substantial vote needs a lot of groundworking and logistical filling. That is there. But BJP has some advantage compared to the past. It has a face who is a credible face. And two, now the equations of Tamil Nadu are more transparent. Earlier also people from Tamil Nadu used to, now even the central, Atal Bihari Vajpayee's BJP or the earlier BJP, they wanted BJP to grow, but they were not much involved into the scenario and the nitty-gritty of the Tamil Nadu politics. This is for the first time you see that the national leadership and the state president are having a deep interest, and therefore much will depend how much they are able to fill the larger macro strategy, which is very aggressive, with a micro strategy of winning over different caste and communities in sub-regional, sub-localities. Like DMK is having a credible face from every community in every region. Similarly, that used to be the state with AIADMK, and then you also entered into alliance with parties like PMK and MDMK and others who used to hold their forte. So that sort of a macro management and is an uphill task, and it will depend upon that. But as of now, BJP has, compared to its past performance, one advantage is having a face who is credible in the state in terms of people recognize that he is not someone who can be sidelined. He represents BJP. So BJP has a familiarity. People know that there is a person, whether they vote for BJP or not is a different matter. And that phase is in tandem with the national leadership who are willing to give the support, kind of support that is required. But certainly it is going to be a patient exercise. Tamil Nadu is a forte that needs to be taken quite patiently. And that way, I think BJP's foray is not just about this election. It is more about kind of taking the state seriously and investing into that. As we see with greater success in the case of Bengal.
T. Ramakrishnan, sir, we see that unlike in the Hindu heartland, Tamil Nadu also has strong regional media houses and they may have connections with one party or another. How do you assess their role and what role have they played in ensuring or not ensuring that the discourse in Tamil Nadu is really regionally like specific, and also ensuring that parties have a base that continues to remain loyal to them because of how news is portrayed or how how the message is communicated to them?
The media houses, of course, each media organization, some of the media organizations are all controlled by political parties. It's all well known. But my point is that their ability to influence voter behavior is very, very limited. Okay, so I can give one example is Jayalalitha. When Jayalalitha was there, she didn't get the right publicity, and she didn't bother also. Okay, in fact, she would tell sometimes very bluntly, "You media people leave this place." Okay, so she won't the next day, even if you write about her, the way she behaved, she was the least concerned. Okay, so the point I'm making is, the media houses, yes, there are media organizations that are under the control of political parties, and whatever campaign they may do, overtly or covertly, in favor or against any political formation, that has very, very limited influence on voter behavior. That is so I have been seeing this also for several years. And that doesn't, so the voter, he decides what to do on the basis of certain inputs that he gets, okay, or she gets. So the role of media is very, very limited with regard to voter behavior. That is my basic point, and that's the answer I would like to give. And I will briefly respond to couple of observations of Sajjan. One is that Tripura and Tamil Nadu are not comparable. Number two is, even in Tripura, you can have that the collapse of left in West Bengal may have got some resonance. That's how, so 2018. So that's it. Number two, he referred to Vajpayee and all that. I had personally interacted with Vajpayee and Advani and all that. Then I think Vajpayee had been following Tamil Nadu very closely. Okay, he knew very many events. In fact, in Kachativu this time, 1974, and then Modi raked up all these things. In fact, he was one of those who opposed it very vigorously. In fact, the Tamil Nadu unit of Jansangh moved the High Court. That was on the advice of Vajpayee. And Vajpayee, in fact, he knew each and everything. But point was that they knew that their space to operate in Tamil Nadu political space was limited at that point of time. And so that's why they were willing to strike a deal with either of the Dravidian parties than operating. But even then, in non-election times, they were making their point very forcefully. So that's, but the point was that they didn't see the benefits in terms of electoral gains. But the point is that they did not show much interest or something like that. That's all that I don't agree, because I interact with them and they knew much more than what I know about Tamil Nadu. So that much knowledge they have. So that cannot be underestimated. If you don't know, that's fine. But just because of what we don't know, one should not make a statement that in those days they didn't give importance and all that. But the political environment was such that they were not able to make any advantage out of the political environment in Tamil Nadu.
Now, before we end this discussion, the figure of K Annamalai has come up in our discussion without any direct question about him. So I would like both of you to conclude this discussion by giving your honest opinion on the figure of K Annamalai. Do you think he has the potential to become a leader, an independent leader, maybe on lines of Karunanidhi or Jayalalitha? Or do you think that he's more of a figure that is in news, that is being there active on Twitter? What is it? What is the truth behind the phenomena that K Annamalai is? Dr. Sajjan has argued that he has resonated with young voters, and that his presence has provided BJP a credible figure, and so as to say, have BJP and K Annamalai have become synonymous in Tamil Nadu or not? Just both of your concluding remarks, and I would just request you to make them a little short.
Right. Thank you. I will be very brief. Of course, the Annamalai has got his plus points. Of course, as you say, that the point is that Annamalai has been able to strike rapport with different classes of people. You see, in cinema language, they say class A, B, C. So that he has been able to strike a rapport. But the point is that is seen as very abrasive, rash. That doesn't gel with the Tamil, not generally, with any person, any sensible person, I would say. Okay, any group of sensible people. Okay, so he needs to tone down that kind of responses, and then sometimes. What shall I say? I think I don't want to use very harsh or strong words, but a person who has studied engineering degree, who has done masters in business administration from IIM, and who has cleared civil services exam, is expected to behave publicly in a particular manner. Okay, if you don't behave that way, then you are an odd person. Okay. Thank you.
Dr. Sajjan.
Yeah, I mean, certainly. I mean, continuing with my earlier point, Annamalai has made the foray of BJP into Tamil Nadu quite visible, and Tamil, for the first time, you see the politics of Tamil Nadu is being followed with some degree of interest across India, and not only in among the people who passionately follow. I mean, you go to the rural kind of belt of any part of India, non-Tamil India, I'm talking about Western or Hindi heartland, and people do recognize. So this itself is a marker. This itself is it signifies the kind of change that Annamalai has brought in Tamil Nadu for BJP. I'm not going into their translation into votes and electoral success. This is one. Two, Annamalai foray is also important, not because of his oratory kind of nature, but also because for the first time you see that here is a state leader who has got so much involvement also of the national BJP leadership. That was the case missing. So coming to Vajpayee, etc., you may follow every state episodically, you may follow because of the cultural markers, but the kind of intensity that the current BJP leadership is showing, and that in tandem with Annamalai, this is a departure from the earlier era. And to that extent, Annamalai, despite his limitations and some sort of, you can say, demerits, is a figure who marks the heralding of the presence of BJP in Tamil. Presence of a hegemonic BJP, that is a story still to be seen in future. But as of now, Tamil Nadu is now a familiar state. Its politics is being followed, read in stories, in non-Tamil states by non-Tamil readers with keen interest. And that precisely, primarily, overwhelmingly more than Prime Minister, it's because of the Anna Project. So to that extent, I think he deserves some credit.
Thank you so much for joining.